Question for you.
What is it?
How would you like to wake up every frickin' day knowing that you have the power to shape your reality?
And
What
if
if
you did know that, what would you do with it?
if what if we told you that the thoughts you entertain in the privacy of your brain, in the privacy of your mind, hold the power to shape the world around you? Well, they do, and they are. Look at the world around you. Your mind is shaping this world and bringing it to you. So this is already happening. We're just talking at New Thought Tuesdays with Rich Smith and Dean Regan. We're talking about mindfully doing this.
Yeah.
Mindfully doing this. And that's what we talk about every week. We talk about it in different ways. But this week, we're really talking about if you can dream it, you can create it. Are we not, Richard?
Yep. If you can dream it, if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it.
Yep.
You have to
Yep.
believe it too. If you don't
Yep.
believe it, ain't gonna happen.
So let's launch in. Let's
Okay.
launch in, Mr. Smith. What do you mean? If you believe it, if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
What? This is not news for most of us here on New Thought Tuesdays. This is not news for anyone that's currently in the inner circle. And if you want to become a part of the inner circle, we'll tell you how to do that later. It's a matter of doing it consistently and really doing it for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
mindfully.
Yeah. What are you thinking about? What you think about, you bring about. I've always said that if you want to if you want to know what you're thinking about, take a look at your life because it's just a reflection of what you've been thinking about.
Yeah.
So, how do you change your thoughts, your ideas?
Well, I think it starts as we were talking about earlier. If you can wrap your mind around the idea that if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. So once you go with that kind of new thought, ancient wisdom idea,
Mm,
you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it, then you can pour that information into every thought, including the ones that you don't particularly want. For me, when there's a thought that I don't want to embrace, I take it into meditation to release it through prayer. And then sometimes for me, if it's really an idea that is challenging to me, that's where I go into my study. I go into my reading and my study. And it's great to be here part of New Thought Tuesdays and be part of the infinite filmmaker on Rich's side of the world and living in concert with life on my side of the world. These are two practices, but it's not just a once a week kind of experience for an hour. It requires daily watching and praying,
yeah.
daily watching and praying. So you pour this information and you have the time and you take the time to focus.
So, what are you thinking about lately, Dean? What have you been thinking about lately? Let's take a look at what's going on in our lives and what we're thinking about. And I challenge you guys out there that are listening to us.
Yeah.
Start thinking about this. Start taking a look at your life and going, what am I thinking about that's bringing this about? And how can I change those thoughts? We're going to show you how to change those thoughts in our inner circle after this session. And, we have some exercises, visualizations you can do, affirmations. I am an idea in the mind of the creator. There are no limits to what I can experience in my life. My dreams are already conceived of by the creator of all that is, knows me and knows everything about me and is setting up all components to bring me my highest good. If you start thinking about this type of stuff, the universe has no other choice but to give you that. It's what you believe. And the more you repeat it to yourself as affirmations and really embrace it, then all of a sudden you start to live that kind of a life. And then everything around you will match that because you're starting to live that. You're starting to feel like, wow, everything is for me, nothing is against me. And you start taking action as if everything is for you and nothing is against you. Whereas if you think, oh my God, everything's against me, why is God doing this to me? You're going to get more of that. So that in essence is what
Yeah.
I think it's all about. So that's why I asked Dean, what are you thinking about lately?
Well, what I've been thinking about lately has been eternal life. What I've been thinking about lately has been relief. And we've talked about it for the last couple of New Thought Tuesdays, that sense of relief. What I've been thinking about lately is how frustrating I find some of my human conditions. What I've been thinking about recently is the love that I have for my family.
Yeah.
What I've been thinking about recently is that, as I've said this before, as my view from, I mean, my view from my New Thought Tuesday here in my music room,
Right.
just got forest and
Yeah.
music. When I'm here
Yeah.
in this little panning shot, I've
Your
got
little
my
space.
my little music stand is a
Yeah.
panning item. When I'm here, I'm thinking about abundance and
Yeah.
beauty.
Yeah. That's your power spot, I take it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I have my
Right
little
here at the
power
piano.
spot. That's so
Right here.
cool. Yeah.
What are you thinking about these days? Well,
Lately I've been
before we go there, my adjustment to my thinking would be in terms of celebrating all of the love, the sense of eternal life, celebrate the demonstrations of the abundance, celebrate the unlimited unfoldment of love, and also be aware I have some limiting beliefs as far as caregiving goes or as far as relationship goes. Take it into prayer,
yeah.
take it into study,
Yeah.
and affirmations, love affirmations. Having said that, what is the feeling tone behind your affirmation? So, okay, so
Yeah.
what are you thinking? So that's my follow-up.
Exactly. I love what you said, is I really appreciate my family because gratitude is one of the biggest things uh, that can contribute to your manifesting, sitting in gratitude. I love my family. I appreciate my family. Look around you and stop complaining about things, guys, that are going on around you and start looking at the good, you know?
Yeah.
And the stuff that's not so good, it'll just disappear. It has no power to hold it into existence. We hold things into existence by our thoughts. Okay. I mean, isn't this what we're talking about today? Is that what you think about, you bring about. And so if you're not thinking about something and paying attention to it, it'll just disappear. It doesn't have anything to keep it into form. Form is mind in action. Wherever your mind is where your form is going to start to exist. And it's the same thing. It's like I remember when I was buying a new Hyundai car, right? All of a sudden you see Hyundais all over the place. What is it? My attention was on Hyundais, and all of a sudden they started appearing. There were no more Hyundais on the road the day before I decided to get the Hyundai. Oh, I got the Hyundai, but once you get it, I remember when I used to drive little sports cars. I got my MGB. All of a sudden, I saw MGBs everywhere. When I went to buy one, I didn't know what an MGB was, sports car. I just happened to see one day and said, "Hey, I like that. I want to get that." But until then, I never noticed what an MGB was. But, so what is it that when you're thinking about something, we're going to talk about this in the inner circle, affirmations. What are some of the other things that we can do to start to change our thinking and sit in gratitude, visioning, start to vision the life you want, start to see it. When we wake up in the morning, I said, Jen, are you up? She goes, yeah, I'm just, visioning for my day. What is my day going to look like? And she starts to see it in her mind before she wakes up and starts looking at her phone and all that other stuff. You guys are just picking up your phone and getting to it. You're
Right.
not getting centered with the spirit within you, the divine within you. You got to go within and you start to vision for your day? What is it going to look like? And then see it as beauty unfolding, and it will unfold as beauty. If you wake up worried and nervous and in fear, you're going to get that. So the trick to me is, how do we change our thinking? And what am I thinking about lately? I've been thinking about abundance lately. I've been putting a price on the stuff that I used to give away for free.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you know what? So all of a sudden, my therapist said, Richard, the stuff you have is so valuable. You have a service that is just like nobody else has anything quite like this. With my infinite filmmaker teachings and teaching people how to go within and connect with the spirit, the divine, and then accessing that divine and manifesting things in their lives. And so she said, you got to put a value on this. If you don't value it, nobody else is going to value it. And then if you value it and you start thinking in terms of abundance, those people out there that want to pay you for your gifts will start thinking in abundance. Wow, you're changing the world mindset from one of lack and limitation to one of abundance, one person at a time. Okay, I'm done. What do you think, Dean?
I think that is exactly the way that it is. That idea of that, again, here's a little truism: what you think about, you bring about. And your question was, how do we change our thinking? How do we change our thinking? And the answer to your question is gently and slowly, but with great feeling of excitement.
Yeah,
The idea
yeah,
and I love this with clients. I love this with the people that I work with. I have always loved this about my practice is the ability to hold that idea for others as I'm holding it for myself.
yeah,
Slowly, patiently, and honestly, with feeling what kind of thinking that I'm doing is just not serving me. Well, the first one is, what kind of thinking am I doing that is serving me? What's
yeah,
serving me?
yeah,
This kind of feeling that I got right now doing New Thought Tuesdays, looking at all the stuff that I showed you before, having my partner in spirit, Rich, right here, and having more and more people coming into the inner circle just thrills me.
yeah,
The idea of abundance thrills me. The idea of wisdom thrills me, and sharing. So as first I think in those terms, and then I might get over to this little things like, well, there's this no, Dean, you're not really expressing your highest and best good. What the is with that?
yeah,
I bring it into meditation. I bring it into prayer. I bring it into affirmations with a feeling tone that brings me to that feeling that I am wanting
right.
of
So
love.
when you work with clients, how do you take what you're experiencing and share it with them in a way that it helps transform their lives?
Well, since you asked, here's I have different clients. Some of the clients that I have are coming to me as a licensed religious science practitioner, strictly wanting spiritual import, and that's where we go. We speak in terms of the qualities of God, the spiritual truths of ancient New Thought wisdom, New Thought ancient wisdom. Some of the clients are secular. So they only want things that we would call in science of mind moving your feet. It's like, okay, here's what you do.
Yeah,
Here's how you can do it. We talk about that. And some people want both. They want that spiritual aspect, and they also want this is just my way of putting it, to be knocked upside the head every once in a while when they're treating themselves poorly.
yeah,
And so I work with people individually to see what it is that is going to get the greatest result.
yeah. And even with those people that you're working with them just to move their feet, because you have the spiritual center, the license to practice this stuff, they're coming to you because to move their feet, but there's such a spiritual essence behind that I'm sure they're getting at it. Like you say, the front of the church and the back of the church. So they're probably in the back of the church. They just want to move their feet, and eventually they move their way up just by being in association with you. Even though you're just helping them move their feet, there's spiritual undertones underneath that. Spiritual truth. Spiritual truth. Isn't that what we're talking about?
Yep, we're
What
talking
is
about
truth?
spiritual truth.
We did a whole session on that a couple of weeks ago. What is truth?
Yep.
So
What is
truth,
truth?
what is truth to you? Truth to me is that, and I go through this all the time. I'm one with the infinite power and presence, not withholding anything from me. My life is unfolding in perfect order. All my needs are met. You know, what I think about, I bring about. I'm thinking great thoughts. My intention, and that's a huge thing. What are you intending? I'm intending to not think about those things that are not working for me and only think about the things that are, you know?
Yep.
So, uh, so there you go. That's the life of a practitioner.
That's what we do as spiritual coaches, practitioners, and life coaches as well. So okay, I think we have really expressed, if you're going to just, if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. What you think about, you bring about. That's what we're leaving here. Let's dive deeper. Let's go into the inner circle. Let's go into our private space with the people who really want this information and talk about this, and say goodbye to the folks who are on social media. Folks, if you want more of this, go to newthoughttuesdays.com and sign up for some gentle
Reminders.
emails that we send. Now, if you want to know more about what Rich does, go to theinfinitefilmmaker.com, reach out to him. Go, if you want to know more about what I do, go to deanregan.com and reach out and get this information. Get involved. Let us support you. Let us serve you. Let us help you. It is our honor. But we are, for now, signing out.
Let's sign out. But wait, let me give them a little secret.
Okay.
You can come into the inner circle now if you sign up for life for free. However, because we're thinking in abundance, I started thinking abundance, there's going to be a price on coming into the inner circle. Not only that, we're going to vet people. We're going to pick the right people that are right in alignment with what we are. Because in the inner circle, we have, 4 or 5 people so far. We're very limited. We only want like, a number of people in there so we can pay attention to each other. But we work with each other. We start to use these principles to break through the barriers and the blocks that are in our lives. And each person has an individual barrier block. We do visioning, we do prayer treatments, we do meditations. There's so many things that we do that we help work through some of these blocks. And the people that are in there already are having huge successes. They're having, Ron is having his screenplays win all kinds of accolades and awards, and Neaton and is, producing his films, and it's just great. And Dean is
Hey, we got plenty
taking
of
singing
people.
lessons. We got Dean to take
Oh,
singing.
I'm growing all over the place. I'm growing all over the place. But let's dive in.
Yeah,
Thank you, Richard. It's absolutely right. Pay attention, folks. Sign up now because you can get in complimentary to
yeah.
the inner circle now. That's going to be changing. We're
So
condensing, we're igniting, we're vibrating very strongly in the inner circle. So if you want to come in complimentary, now's the time, because we're going to be closing the inner circle and making it a pay situation very, very soon. Okay, but
yeah.
let's get back
So
to what we're talking about.
okay, just let me just say one other thing, that if you come in now, it's kind of like you're there as a guest. And we sit there as a group and decide, is this person right for the group? So come on in, join us. It's kind of your way of coming in and seeing what we're all about,
Yep.
seeing how, how it will work for you. And
Yep.
then we go and we talk about it. We are, okay, this person is an attribute to our group, to our, inner circle group. And so that's kind of what's going on. I just want to put that out there, make it perfectly
Great.
clear that that's what's going on.
That's what's
Okay,
going
take
on.
care. See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, guys.
Okay, bye.
We're going into the inner circle.
Yeah. And everything's private in the inner circle. Right now, I'm going to shut off the live. We shut off all the recordings and we get very personal. And everything that goes on in the inner circle stays in the inner circle. So come
Yep.
on.